Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where I share my passion for 3D modeling and animation. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made a stone cave and placed Lord Shiva Nataraja's idol in the center of it. I hope you will enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of my future videos. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so your support would mean a lot to me. And one more thing I want to tell you guys, all download resources and some YouTube video links are in the description, so you can easily get this thing. To create this scene, I used some free resources that I downloaded from the internet, such as images and models. I also used some Blender add-ons to make the process easier and faster. To import the image into Blender, I went to File, Import Images as Planes. Then I selected the image file and clicked Import Images. I scaled and positioned the plane to fit the camera view. Next, I started to model the walls. To do that, I added a cube object by pressing Shift+A and choosing Mesh a Cube. Then I went to Edit mode by pressing Tab, and I added some loop cuts by pressing Ctrl+R to create some creases and bevels. I deleted the unwanted faces and extruded the remaining ones to give some thickness to the walls. To make the modeling easier, I used the mirror modifier to duplicate the geometry across the x-axis. To make water, I watched a YouTube tutorial. I will put the link in the YouTube description. To enable the add-on, go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and searched for ANT Landscape. Then I checked the box to activate it. To use the add-on, I pressed Shift+A and chose Mesh a Landscape. This created a plane object with some noise and displacement. In the operator panel, I could choose from different presets and adjust the settings to create different types of landscapes. I chose the Hills preset and tweaked the noise size, height, and falloff. Used Quixel Bridge, which is a platform that provides high-quality 3D assets for free. Quixel Bridge has a huge library of assets that you can browse and download, such as rocks, plants, water, and more. After downloading the assets, I imported them into Blender and arranged them to form the cave. The next step was to download the Lord Shiva idol from Sketchfab, which is a website that hosts 3D models from various artists. Sketchfab has a lot of amazing models that you can download for free or for a small fee. I imported the model into Blender and placed it in the center of the cave. I adjusted the scale and rotation of the model. To make the roof, I will use a plane and scale it to fit the walls. Next, I will move the plane up along the Z-axis until it covers the top of the walls. I will press G to move and Z to constrain the axis. Now, I will add a mirror modifier to the plane so that it becomes symmetrical. I will go to the Modifier tab and click on Add Modifier and choose Mirror. Now, I have the basic shape of the roof. To give the roof a stone look, I used sculpting in Blender. I switched to the sculpt mode, and I used different brushes to create some details and variations on the surface. I used the clay strips brush to add some volume, the scrape brush to flatten some areas, and the crease brush to create some cracks and grooves. And then, I will start sculpting the roof by adding some bumps and dents to make it look more natural. I will also use the smooth brush to smooth out some areas. After sculpting the roof, I will add some material to it. I am using a Blender kit for this. There is a lot of free material on it. To apply the material, I will go to Blender Kit tab. I searched stone material, and I found and I dragged and dropped it on the roof, and it automatically applied the material with the textures and the nodes. To adjust the texture of the material, I will use the UV editor. I will go to the UV editing workspace and select the roof. I will press U and choose Smart UV Project. Then, I will scale and move the UV map to fit the texture. I will press S to scale and G to move. To apply some materials and textures to the landscape, I used another free Blender add-on called Blender Kit. Then I clicked on the Import button and waited for the add-on to download and apply the material to the landscape. I adjusted the scale and rotation of the texture to match the shape of the landscape. There was one more scene in my animation in which the gate was opening automatically. To create that scene, I also took the help of a YouTube video. I will put the link to that YouTube video in the description. You can make this kind of gate for your scene by watching it, and you can also learn how to make it. I wanted to create some clouds and a landscape to fill the background. To create the clouds, I downloaded some images of clouds with transparent backgrounds from Google. Then I imported them into Blender as planes, just like before. I duplicated and scaled the cloud planes and arranged them in a random pattern. I also rotated them slightly to create some variation. The final step was to animate the scene and render it. I wanted to create a cinematic effect, so I added a camera and a sunlight to the scene. I animated the camera to start from the entrance of the cave and move towards the idol, while rotating and zooming in. I also animated the sunlight to create a dynamic lighting effect. I used the depth of field feature to blur the background and focus on the idol. I rendered the scene in Eevee, which is a real-time rendering engine that is fast and easy to use. I set the frame range to 1 to 400, and the resolution to Full HD. I chose the FMPEG video format, which is a popular and widely supported format for video files. I also enabled some settings, ambient occlusion, and bloom, to enhance the quality of the render. And that's it. I hope you liked this video and learned something new. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep creating and have fun.